Coach Antonio Ford is beginning his 19th season of coaching and teaching. He currently serves as the defensive coordinator and director of sports performance at Tuscaloosa County High. Coach Ford is a product of the Tuscaloosa County school system. He graduated from Troy University, where he majored in collaborative education. He also received his master's degree in education leadership from the University of West Alabama. Coach Ford has served at a number of high schools throughout his career. Most recently, he was defensive line strength coach at Auburn High School. Prior to Auburn, he served as the head coach at Sipsey Valley High School, where he led the Bears to the first 2 playoff appearances in school history. Coach Ford competed at the college level at Troy University. While at Troy, Coach Ford led 3 consecutive seasons and won back-to-back conference championships. Coach Ford is married to his beautiful wife of 18 years, Key Ford. She is also an educator. They have a daughter, Toni Christian. She is an honor student and world competitive cheerleader. Family, faith, and football is his motto.
Giving me a head coaching job. Okay, I appreciate that. Thank y'all for coming. This is awesome. So far, I've learned a lot. Chris, great job. Chris, awesome. Hard to follow you, but I'll do my best. All right. Thank my wife, my mom, Miss Ashley. Thank you guys for coming out. Pastor Bobby called me. I think we were in the middle of training, maybe in December, when he called me. And I answered the phone, and as soon as I answered it, he started talking and telling me, hey, we need to connect, and I'm doing something, and I want you to be a part of it. And I immediately said, yeah, Pastor Bobby, I'm going to do exactly whatever you need me to do. I'm diving in. And when I hung up the phone, I was like, man, what did I just commit to? Because I know I got a million things going on. What did I do? So I called him back, and I was like, Pastor Bob, can you text me exactly what you want me to do? And so when I call you back, I was kind of try to get out of it. But you told me, I was like, I've been rolling with it. But since then, man, I've had like a million ideas that come to my head, and I'm super excited about doing this, and thank you for thinking of me. Had so many ideas. Some of them gonna work, some of them not gonna work, and I just want to share. So my topic is how to reach a generation through sports. Yes. All right, sports has been what I've been a part of since I can remember. I mean, I played Little League football in Holt, and played the whole high school, went on to play at Troy, and have been coaching ever since I got out of school. So everything about me has revolved around sports, and some of the best advice I've gotten is from coaches and from being a part. Some of my best relationships that I have with grown men now, that we're boys then, or grown men now, have been my teammates. All right, so everything about me is some kind of way intertwined with sport. That's what I do. Put together a little slideshow. My wife helped me put this together. These are pictures of different relationships that sports have allowed me to have through wherever stop I've been, different schools, but it's been the same formula. All right, it's been relationships. Some of these pictures are from games, obviously. Some of them are from weddings. These guys have graduated and invited me back to weddings. Some of them have been from the biggest game they've won in their life, and they want to take a picture after the game. They come find their coach to come and take a picture. Some of them are in college. I had one player to invite me back to his senior day to stand in as a surrogate parent during his senior day. And that kind of stuff I don't take for granted. Those kind of things don't just happen. Those kind of things are a result of reaching a generation, right? And we reach people through relationship. All right, so that's why I wanted to throw that in there. This next slide, I don't know, I couldn't make it fit into the talk, but I just wanted to show my family because I love them a whole bunch. And the woman in the white, that's my 16-year-old daughter, Toni Christian. And the beautiful lady in the green, that's my wife of like 18 years. And she's also in education. She's not 19 years, my bad, 19 years. And I mean, as far as reaching a generation, she probably would do more of a phenomenal job of telling how she reaches her students. She can have the hardest, quote unquote, thuggish young man in her class, and they're singing songs in English class and organizing a notebook. She gets them to do things that most can't do, and that's the epitome of reaching a generation. All right, so I'm really proud of them and the things that they accomplish. All right. I want to talk about this. So I told you I had like a million ideas that I wanted to do in this conference, but Pastor Barbie said, "Hey man, try to stay within 15 minutes." And I was like, "Dang, well, I had 15 to 20." So I had this idea, right? And I can't do it because it's going to take way too much time. Right? I thought it was going to be a 5-minute deal, but me and my sister tried to put it together and it didn't work. So at least I get to tell you about it. Here's the idea. I'm going to divide you guys up and make you compete. Right? I'm going to give you 2 puzzles. One puzzle was going to have all of the pieces and that's it, right? You're going to put the puzzle together. The other puzzle is going to have all of the pieces except for one piece, but it was going to have a picture, right, of what the puzzle was supposed to look like. And you guys are going to race to put the puzzle together. Well, what was going to happen is the people that didn't have the picture of what the puzzle was supposed to look like, they were going to have trouble putting it together, piecing it together, right? And then the other people, they had a picture, but there was a piece missing, right? And it was going to represent people from this generation, right? There's a lot of kids that have all the pieces, but they don't have an example, right? Don't have anybody to show them how to do things. People that have everything, have a mom, have a dad at home, they have a picture of what it's supposed to look like, but there's something missing. And that missing component is us, right? We're that missing puzzle piece. And more so than anything, I wanted to encourage my team, and y'all are my team, right? I want to encourage you guys that we're teaming together to reach this generation. There are some things outside of my reach, some things that are outside of my circle, but they're right in the middle of your circle, right? That you can reach them. And as a team, when we start putting together and working together, we're going to do exactly what this conference is about, reaching the generation. All right. Next thing is, I want to tell this story. I got 2 stories, that story and then this story, right? There was a guy in the Bible, his name was Benaiah, right? He is not as well known as the guy that he worked for. He worked for David. Everybody ever heard of David, right? David killed Goliath, and David was very popular in the Bible, and rightfully so. But Benaiah was a bad boy within himself. Now he did some pretty amazing things, right? He's got a resume. Well, David killed Goliath. Well, Benaiah, he killed 2 soldiers that were like 6 feet tall, and he killed 2 of them together, and he beat them. Benaiah also, he killed a giant that was bigger than Goliath, and the giant had a spear. Benaiah had a club, and I think David killed Goliath, but Goliath had a sword, and David had a slingshot, right? And so when I start thinking about this story, I'll tell you how this ties in to reaching generation in a second, is this. Benaiah had to get really close to that giant to kill him with a club, right? David didn't have to get too close, right, to Goliath, because he can throw that rock and he didn't have to get too close, right? Also, the guy that Benaiah fought, he had a spear, right? And so as Benaiah's coming close to him, he has to dodge the spear. The story says, the Bible says, I think it's 2 Samuel, that Benaiah took the spear from the giant and he killed him with his own spear, right? So he had to be close to get to that. Just shows you the kind of guy, the kind of mindset that he had, how bad he wanted to get the job done, all right? But that's not the best story about Benaiah, right? The best part about it is that he was working. I think he was a shepherd. He did something, but his family was on their land and it was snowing. A lion came near where he was living, right? And he chased the lion away, right? That's amazing in himself that you chase a lion away, and what kind of guy he is that a lion runs from him, but that's what the word of God says. All right, so not only did he chase the lion, not only did he scare the lion away, but he chased the lion. And so the lion was running full speed away from him so fast that the lion fell into a pit. The lion fell into a hole, right? And you would think, that's good enough. So Benaiah looks down at the lion, and the lion's in the hole, his family's safe, and you think, well, that's good enough. But not for Benaiah, right? What he knew was, if he didn't finish his job, right? If he didn't go after that lion right now, as soon as that snow melted, that lion's gonna climb out of that hole, and he's gonna face that lion again, right? So what he did is he jumped down into that pit and he killed that lion, right? Here's how that connects to the story that I'm telling. I'm about to reach our generation. If we don't reach our generation now, right, eventually, right, we're gonna have to face those kids, those guys that we didn't reach, right, those guys that we didn't go after. We're gonna have to face them. We'll have to meet them in jail somewhere. We're gonna have to talk to them, getting them out of trouble. We're gonna have to do something if we don't reach for them now, right? Luckily, people saw me and they reached for me and they tried to help me, so I want to do the same thing for this generation, right? Our team did this deal. Our head coach had these hats made, just Chase the Lines, and PB, you gave me a gift, so I want to re-gift back to you. There you go, Chase the Line hat. There you go. All right, so like I said, I had a couple stories to tell, but also I want to have some takeaways. I have 5 takeaways that I wanted to communicate to you guys. Number 1 is that if we're going to reach a generation, we have to use this made-up word. We have to edutain, right? Edutain is this, man. Their attention spans are really, really short, right? And they're not equipped to stand and listen to a 30-minute preaching a sermon or whatnot, us telling them everything they should be doing, or they probably already know what they should be doing. But we have to figure out a way that we can educate them because they need the help. But we also have to slide some entertainment in there some kind of way. We gotta crack a joke. We gotta think outside the box, and we have to continue to do those things, because if we don't, we're gonna lose them. Right? So as we're trying to reach a generation, we have to have a strategy, right? If we're coaching a game, we gotta have a strategy of how we're gonna win. We can't do the same thing with everybody. Right? So we gotta edutain.
That's so good.
Mm-hmm. All right, so my second takeaway, right? I got it from this book. This book was given to me by a mentor of mine, Martin Houston. It says Inside Out Coaching. And in this book, the author talks about the difference between being a transformational coach and a transactional coach, all right? And so when you're trying to reach a generation, it's important that you seek to be transformational, not transactional. Transformational means that you're seeking to change that human being, right? You're doing things that are abnormal. You're spending time with that person. Transactional is what can I get out of this, right? So as a coach, once they're finished playing, if I never speak to them again, it was all about a transaction. They played for me and I coached them, right? But being a transformational coach, now you get phone calls in the middle of the night where they don't know where they're going to sleep. Right? They don't know, they don't know whether or not they want to take their life. Like you get those, like, hey, I'm getting married. I want you to be a part of the wedding. Like that's called being transformational, right? So now we're changing that young man's life, right? We're a part of it. It goes farther than just the football field, all right? That's my second takeaway. Third takeaway is this, is that we have to praise efforts. We spend a lot of time talking about the mistakes that people make, all right? Talk about what they did wrong or how they didn't do this or should have done that. But instead, we should spend more time praising the things that we see. Make a big deal out of the things that we want more of, right? So cheer for what you want to see. Don't just harp on the things that they do wrong. So those kind of things reach generations, and they see that, man, I am doing something good. I do have some kind of self-worth. Like I'm good at something. Somebody's saying something positive about me.
Yes,
right?
sir. Yes.
All right, takeaway number 4, be someone they can trust. All right, and a big part of being someone they can trust is showing them that you make mistakes sometimes, right? That I ain't always had it together. My mom's sitting back there, she know I ain't always had it together, right? There were times they didn't think I was gonna make it, but I made it. Right, and kids need to know that. They need to hear that. They need to hear your story, right? They need to hear your testimony and understand that just because they messed up doesn't mean that's the end, right? Just because they made a mistake doesn't mean the end. There's still a chance for them. Like they're not the first person to ever make a mistake. And once they see that they can trust you, they're going to open up more and more to you, right? And thus give you an opportunity to effectively change this generation, all right? Takeaway number 5, one of my favorites. My wife actually came with this one. It says understanding their language, but not talking like them, right? Trying to talk like them, we sound silly, right? But understanding what they're talking about, right? Trying to be relevant, like what Chris said. They use words like no cap and understanding what that means, right? Right? So they'll use that. They'll, things that they deem important, like their shoes. And I think he was saying that, they can talk about their shoes, they can value their shoes, but tell them it's more important which direction they're going in life, right? And you use their terminology, you use the things that they say to guide the conversation, right? And you spin that conversation in the way that you want it to go, right? But again, it has to be entertainment. It can't be just a 30-minute dissertation, all right? All right, so last thing is this. All right, this job is too big to do alone. And I referenced this at the beginning, that everybody has a circle of influence, right? There are some things that I can't do, right? Within sports, like I have a lot of reach. Like I'm able to meet those kids because they come to the game, right? And that's my reach. That's what God's gifted me to do, and that's what I get to do for a living. But there's some areas, some of you guys may be in music or critical alternative school. From an administrative standpoint, Lucretia, like whatever your job is, you have a circle of influence. Some things some people that I can't reach, and that's the reference of being a team, right? I have a part. I'm a offensive tackle, and you may be a quarterback, and someone may be running. Everybody has a job, and no job is more important than the other, right? And the job is to score the touchdown. The job is to reach this generation. All right? Well, thank you, guys.